What is going on, ladies and genitals? YOTESLAYA here, bringing you my overall review for the new game by Gearbox, Aliens Colonial Marines. Before we get into this, I want to thank two people. I want to thank the guys over at G2PO for making this possible, and also the guys over at GamersGate.com for providing this game for review. Guys, I appreciate the opportunity to do this, and I wanted to say thank you before we get into this. But getting into the overall review, you can see that I've got some multiplayer gameplay up on the screen. Most of you that didn't turn into my live stream didn't see this and asked for this. This is a versus mode, and I think it's one of the coolest multiplayer experiences ever. It's where you are the aliens and then they are the survivors. It's like a team deathmatch type mode. Obviously, I'm the aliens right now, and I thought it was pretty legit. One of the coolest multiplayers I've ever experienced. But to get into the overall review, first off, I want to start off with the single player campaign. Most of you guys probably know that I did live stream the entire campaign, and you know, I'll probably rate these out of 10, but I'll probably just talk about my experience over it all. Overall, I thought the overall campaign itself was probably like a 6 out of a 10. Now, a lot of people are giving this game super bad reviews, and I'm not going to drop it that low, but I'm not going to say this game is the greatest game ever either. First off, the graphics, the game visually looks pretty good throughout, okay? Especially once you get out of the ship and you're actually on like the planet and you're outside, the game looks amazing. When it comes to the gameplay, I think the gameplay is probably what brings this game down for most people, as it's pretty straightforward in the fact that the enemies or the AI is pretty dumb. Okay, the AI, like the aliens in the game, they all got the same attack. They kind of run at you, like you see me here, like squatted down, and then they raise up and try to attack you. It's pretty much the same thing. And, you know, it kind of, you know, the game, I thought it was all right. But it's one of those games where I would rent before I would buy. Knowing what I know now, I would definitely not spend $60 on it. You know, I would rent it and try it out because it is a pretty easy game. I beat the campaign in 3.5 hours. So it took this game quite a long time to actually get the sequel out from the last Aliens game. So a lot of people had their expectations up pretty high, similar to like the Duke Nukem that just came out. I forget what it is, like Duke Nukem. I don't think, maybe it's 3D, but the new Duke Nukem, you know, it took so long for the new version of Duke Nukem to come out, and once it came out, it kind of flopped, and I think it was actually by Gearbox as well. So it's taken so long since the last sequel. Everybody thought this was just going to be truly amazing, and it seems like they put their most time into visual effects and stuff like that, because the game does look awesome, but the AI in the game just doesn't cut it very well. The enemies are really easy. You know, it's like one of those games where it doesn't take too long. You can like memorize their attacks, and I was at the end of it, I was just kind of running around and avoiding them and just kind of going through the game. But like I said, visually the game looks awesome. The AI is pretty bad on your side as well as the enemies. Like you're like compadres that are with you. The AI that are on your team shooting with you sometimes don't ever shoot their guns. Their mouth in the cutscenes look very well, but the mouth, like the cinematic of them talking, does not match up to the voices. So, I don't know. For the amount of time they put into this game, I could see why people thought it really flopped. But overall, I thought the game was somewhat fun. It looked great. It was one of the better looking games out there. And as far as the campaign, 3.5 hours, boom, it's done. If you're an achievement whore on Xbox or like trophy whore on PS3, it's definitely one of those games to get, and I guarantee you could rack up some easy achievements, because I got a few of them just by finding the legendary guns throughout the game, which I failed to mention, and I think it was a pretty good concept. Similar to like Borderlands 2 by Gearbox, they have legendary weapons throughout the game where you can actually find weapons that are gold, you know, scattered throughout the maps that are actually like pretty awesome guns. So you can find those, and that's what kept me kind of like mesmerized or like entertained. Everywhere I went, I would look around in every nook and cranny looking for a legendary gun, and I found probably like 5 or 6 overall. I'm not sure how many there are in the game. There's 11 missions to the campaign, which is a decent amount of missions, but it doesn't take very long. Some of them were only like 10 to 15 minutes long, so it's pretty easy. So maybe each mission has a legendary gun. I'm not really sure. But going on to the multiplayer, I really enjoyed this multiplayer. This right here is actually my very first game ever on multiplayer, and I had no idea what to expect. I had no idea it was even going to be aliens versus Marines. I thought it was just going to be like a team deathmatch. Everybody had guns, and I was pretty surprised when I got in here and there was actually aliens. Now, the way this works is the first side, you're an alien or you're a Marine, and then at halftime it switches, and you go to the other side. And so it gives each person a chance to go, know, do it as the aliens or do it as the Marines. And I thought the multiplayer experience was pretty freaking awesome. I am only going to show you this first half because when I got into my second half, you can see when I pull up the scoreboard a little bit, these dudes on the other team were like level 20s and 30s, and I was like a level 2. My first one. When you give these guys an alien, they were just destroying me. Like, I don't know what I was doing different. Maybe there's a power attack that I didn't know about, but they would just run up on me and do like an execution, like put their nail or like a spike through my head, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So I don't know. I thought the multiplayer experience was pretty freaking awesome. Leave in the comments if you guys want to see some more of this multiplayer stuff. But you can see I only go 7 and 6. Not too bad for my first game ever. But guys, that was my review for the Marines, the Aliens Colonial Marines. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I will talk to you guys later.